been following the Commonwealth Games drama saga in Delhi. Now, I have generally wondered what the purpose of Commonwealth is. I mean, we all know that it is a club of nations which were once part of the British Empire. But why Commonwealth? Why not Brotherhood of the British Empire? Or even, say, the Queen's Children? Why Commonwealth? See, to me, often I have felt it's like a post-colonial pension fund. A post-colonial, is it possible to start all over again?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry, fellow Toastmasters and very welcome. For those of you who have been there, it's deja vu. But for those of you who weren't there and who were curious to know what happened at the Area 32 humorous speech competition, this was the most defining snippet of my speech. Where you saw, what happened next was, I had a choice to either carry on or say thank you very much and come and sit down. But I decided to carry on. And I never quite recovered the rhythm, but I nevertheless carried on. For I didn't want DNF against my name. FYI, DNF did not finish. You can tell that I have been following the Commonwealth Games very carefully. So I kicked myself in the right earnest, and progressively I kicked myself less. And when emotion abated, and it was time for reason to spring up and discover what really happened there. What went wrong there? It was time for very serious scientific postmortem of the mishap that was the Area 32 speech competition. Was I daunted by the whole situation? Let me see. Actually, it can't be more daunting than walking through these very doors for the club level competition. And what do you see? The inimitable Barry. The ever humorous Eric. The very experienced Dave. And the up and coming star of comedy, the brilliant Brendan, who is not here today. They are your competitors. For me, the competition was over there and then. But if I overcame that, then surely this can't be the reason. So perhaps I was bogged down by the pressure of the event. Let me see again. If I could compete at the club level, how could area level be any different? How is the geography of the club, of the area, more dangerous than the geography of the club? I mean, they are the same speakers from different clubs. So no, that can't be the reason again. So is it that I was daunted by the competition in front of me? Let me see again. If I could hold my nerve against all the brilliant speakers I know that are brilliant, how could I get daunted by all the speakers who I had never heard speak before? So it can't be that. So it was time for some real mind-jogging exercise. And as I kept thinking of what really could have happened, I remembered this wonderful but very heartwarming film that I once saw, called Akila and the Bee. Has anyone ever seen that? So this is the story of a 7-year-old girl in America, who is is forced to compete in a spelling bee competition as a form of punishment for absence from her classes. And because she didn't want her antics to be reported back to her mother, she very reluctantly agrees. And by some quirk of fate, she gets selected to compete at the district level. Now, once she reaches the district level, she now really wants to win. And she decides to enlist the help of a certain reluctant and recluse English teacher called Mr. Larrabee, played by the very wonderful Samuel L. Jackson. Now, this recluse Mr. Larrabee somehow agrees to coach Akila, but imposes certain conditions on her. He says that she has to follow his methods if she has to win. And those methods meant that she could not be rote memorizing, as he called it. She had to understand the origin of the word and the construct of the word instead of just mindlessly memorizing it. Now, this 7-year-old girl threw a tantrum because she had seen her compatriots mindlessly going through the dictionary trying to memorize words. And she says, "Look, Mr. Larrabee, I cannot win. I cannot win by your methods. I have to do what my other fellow compatriots are doing." So Mr. Larrabee, man of few words, asks her to go and read something up on his wall that says, "Our deepest fears are not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fears are that we are more powerful than we think." We constantly tell ourselves, who are we to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, to be beautiful, to be fabulous? In fact, who are we not to be? So as I was remembering this, I realized what really happened. There was this voice inside me, this faint voice, but powerful and intrepid and true, trying to tell me, "Bhanu, you are good, you are humorous, you are worthy of this." But what was I doing? I was ignoring it. In fact, I was shouting it down. Why? Because I was taking the cues from the world outside me. In fact, in the Hindu philosophy, there is a concept of Maya. I'm not much of a philosophy person, but somehow this just sprung up to me. The concept of Maya, which means illusion, which says that everything around us is illusion. What is real is what is inside you. So then, fellow Toastmasters, why is it so difficult for us to look inside and hear our voice that is so powerful, that is so true, that is so loyal, that is so intrepid? I mean, I know that the world outside is chaotic and there's a lot of din and commotion, but still, why is it difficult for us to, why do we look for cues outside when clearly the answers lie inside? In the last few days, I have negotiated this difficult trajectory from who am I to be to who am I not to be. Fellow Toastmasters, as the theme for today is fear and overcoming fear, I would really urge you all to ask yourselves, who are you not to be?